Easter is a time of celebration for the Christian church around the world, and here in New Zealand we get a long weekend, we get hot cross buns, we get Easter eggs, perhaps some special things happening at your church. For many Christians, though, in many different parts of the world, Easter can be particularly dangerous, as it is dangerous to even call yourself a Christian, and certainly dangerous to gather together in groups for Good Friday and Easter Sunday services. An organisation which does tremendous work supporting Christians, particularly those in parts of the world where they are persecuted for their faith, is Barnabus Aid. CEO of Barnabus Aid New Zealand, Steph Johnston, joins us now. Stephanie, kia ora, good morning. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, good morning to you. And you said hot cross buns, and I'm all about those hot cross buns. Love them.
Exactly. I mean, it is a wonderful celebration for us here in New Zealand, but for the people that Barnabas Aid is working with, yes, it's still a celebration. Yes, they're still celebrating the faith that they have, but not some of the freedoms we have, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sometimes for Christians across the world, Easter is a pretty terrifying time, actually. So they want to celebrate because it's such an important time of year for us, but at the same time, they're concerned about what's going to happen, because we've known in the past that oftentimes Easter is a time when Christians are targeted more because of what that holiday, what this stands for us as Christians.
And hey, the more chance of more Christians being gathered together, I suppose, in previous years in different parts of the world, terrorist attacks on churches packed full of people for Easter Sunday services. And I suppose for people in those parts of the world, there's always going to be that feeling in the back of their mind, gosh, I wonder whether or not we're going to live through this Easter.
Yeah, I mean, and I also think too, like the people who have endured this in the past. So for instance, Sri Lanka a few years back was a target of various attacks over Easter in response to what happened here in New Zealand with the mosque in Christchurch.
Yeah.
And so I feel for those families as well. I mean, we have one of our own staff, Barnabas, who lost family members during that time. And so I think not only do they have that in the back of their head, it's also a reminder of those they lost. And you know, I've told you before with Nigeria, there's attacks in Nigeria constantly. And so Easter is again ramped up for them. So, but the thing that really, I guess, challenges me in my faith is that regardless of that looming kind of fear, Christians in these parts of the world still choose to go to church to celebrate with their brothers and sisters. And so for me, that's something that I'm constantly aware of, you know, with all the things going on and what could eminently happen. Still they choose to go to church and be faithful and praise together. So to me, that's just a remarkable proof of what faith looks like in these countries.
Yeah.
So, and I challenged us here in New Zealand, where it's quite easy for us. We could pick any church on any corner to go to Easter to celebrate, and you know, but we don't worry about that, not even a little bit, you know?
Yeah. But actually, I suppose as we do go into this Easter weekend, as we do celebrate, and rightly so, whether it be Easter camp or hot cross buns or whatever your tradition is, taking some time to pray for those who are finding it particularly tough. And look, this is one of the things I love about the work that you do, is keeping people informed as to what happens. As you're saying, Stephanie, this is not just an Easter thing. This is any given Sunday or any time of the year. This is ongoing for people in Nigeria and Pakistan and other places as well. And a wonderful resource through your website, through regular updates, but also I understand there's been a Lenten prayer series. Now, we're just about at the end of Lent, but these prayers can be prayed any time of the year, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a really amazing booklet that we put out. It's one of my favorite things that we do as an organization. Is this booklet it's 40 days and it's meant to kind of coincide with Lent, but you can use it anytime during the year.
Yep.
And it basically focuses on these areas. So it's not just we have a prayer diary that's the daily prayer, but this is focusing on countries. So for instance, you can go to Laos and hear about what's going on in Laos, how Christians are persecuted there, how we can pray for them. And so I would challenge people who are listening, watching today, that even this is the end of Lent. Let's push it forward. We don't have to just focus on Lent. I mean, I know there's a specific reason for that, but let's take that prayer booklet and pray and really dig into how, because we're the only ones who are talking about this as Christians. We're the ones who knows what's going on. So, in light of the news who focuses on a few bits and pieces that are going on across the world, at the same time, congruently, there's Christians being persecuted and tragic things happening that nobody talks about. So let's be that voice for the persecuted church, and let's put our money where our mouth is. Is that how you say that phrase? And just not money where our mouth is, but you know what I mean. But let's just put our action to our heart for the persecuted church.
Although, I mean, money is a part of it, actually, and I know there'll be people listening to this or watching this that will say, hey, actually, it's part of my Lenten tradition. Yeah, okay, I've got some spiritual disciplines, I've got a time of prayer that I do, but also setting aside some money for charitable giving. And as I suppose we look at how blessed we are here in New Zealand, I would encourage people actually to maybe prayerfully consider a donation to organisations such as Barnabus Aid. That, I mean, yes, you support people that are persecuted, but you also provide feeding programs and educational resources, practical aid for some brothers and sisters in the faith who are doing it pretty tough. That would be a good use of a Lenten charitable donation, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Andrew. And, we're doing an Easter appeal at the moment that if you pop onto our website, it's on the main page there. But little as $18 can provide food for Pakistani families. We're also helping with paying for Christian counselors for trauma healing in countries where, in Congo, where they have endured a lot of persecution, family members have died. So trauma counseling is another really important area for us. I think being able to help people walk through that with a Christian perspective is so important to us as Christians to help them to do that. So if you pop onto the website, you can download that the prayer guide, the prayer booklet, or you can order it from the church, the office in New Zealand here, or go to the website and look at the appeal that we're doing. So it's a really incredible and a good read, actually. The appeal is a very good read, if you want to put it that way, talking about mourning for the whole verse in Isaiah that says a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. So in what we're doing with this Easter appeal is, God will give the crown of ashes, but a crown of beauty instead of ashes, but we can provide food for families. It's that kind of mentality of how we can be a part of that this Easter.
Yeah, and
thinking outside of ourselves and our hot cross buns.
Exactly. So. And nothing against hot cross buns, but what is God calling us to do in response to the blessings that he has given us here? Just quickly before you go, Stephanie, you also mentioned that these sorts of stories don't generally make the news cycle. And I know this is something else which is a blessing to many people. As well as visiting the website, they can sign up for regular updates. They can make sure that stories of great things, but also tragic things happening within the Christian community around the world, they can make sure that they keep up to date, that they keep informed on these sorts of things, so they can pray with understanding into these areas. Yeah. Again, the website, that's where you sign up for regular updates?
Yep. So barnabusaid.org. That'll take you right there, and there's easy buttons for you to click on to sign up for all of this stuff, as well as the Easter appeal. But let's make this Easter a time when we're praising the fact that Easter and what it means for us in Jesus Christ, but also how we can step into that with our brothers and sisters as well, who don't have as much freedom to celebrate the way that we do here in New Zealand.
Hey, appreciate what you and the team do, and would certainly encourage people to lean into that space as we head towards Easter. Stephanie, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate everything you do to help us get the word out there.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.